Hey y'all, so I'm back. I told you I'd be back all day. So, again, for those that might have missed it earlier or who don't know who I am, let me start there, right? My name is Arike Michelle Broadnax. I am the CEO, founder, visionary of a nonprofit organization called PI, Purifications International Enterprise. Why PI? Purifications, something that our community um, truly needs to take a look at, especially right now, going back to remembering who we were, who we are as a people, the heart of community, and getting away from the rat race, right? Getting away from the mentality of the rat race and all that the rat race entails. And so, purifications is something that I myself have had to walk out for quite some time. And so, just a little back history for those who do not know. In 2009, I left my corporate career on purpose and I left the big churches and titles to walk by faith into what I knew was the real reason why I had gone through all the things that I had gone through as a younger woman who lost her mother to colon cancer during the most critical, I think, years of a young woman's life, that age 18 through 24, where you're coming out of that younger mentality and are trying to get a grasp on being an adult. And those years are very formative. And if somebody's not there to lead and to guide us, a lot of our daughters are being led down wrong paths and wrong directions. So, taking from my own life's experience and all of the trauma that I myself had um, come across in life as a young woman of color, um, purifying myself, remembering who I was, the stock of woman that I came from, the strength in that, and also understanding that spirituality had a major part of me healing. And so, starting that quest of discovering me and purifying my mind away from the things that society was telling me that I should be indulging in, turning away from music, turning away from TV. I got rid of my TV in 2007. I did not have another TV until 2023. So, taking that time to sit back, reflect, pray, fast, write, and at the same time, consistently walking with young women in the community. Since I was 18, to be exact, I've been walking with young women consistently, doing something with young women consistently since I was 18 years old. And so, this purification that I speak about is simply not only from what I used myself to get away from all of the darkness and all of the brokenness that I found myself in as a young woman who did not have an elder woman to come in and to lead and to guide her, and who was already broken, severely broken by the time that she was 19 years old. And what steps did I have to take to get myself out of those places that were so dark, those places that some people I watched remain for decades after? And so, taking those things and understanding the strength and the power of sitting quiet and allowing spirit to show me those areas that needed to be corrected in my life to strengthen me, to heal me, to keep me going, showing me all along that I was never by myself, even in the darkest places that I found myself as a young woman. And so, Purifications, I share my story. That is the program that I developed, 5 S's and a C. That's me, Women's Development and Training course. That course was written in 2011. It was piloted in my first healing home in 2012 in Sacramento, California. Out of that came 2 graduates, one that is still with me, and one that just recently left because she's married and her husband opened a church. So it's all love, you know, and international. International because I believe that the healing is of all the diaspora. And so being abroad now, being to St. Kitts at this time last year, I was in St. Kitts this year. Right now, I'm currently in Montego Bay, Jamaica. And I see the influence and not the positive influence of African Americans, but the influence of the music industry and the hold that it has on generations. And, you know, so international, yes, we all need healing. And not only that, but I work in domestic violence in that field, restoration, that field, the hurting the most. I go into prisons. And when I was in St. Kitts, I spent 5 months in the prison there. I was supposed to be going to heal, but I don't know how to sit down and not help. So wherever I'm at, I interject myself into the community. And so, um, you know, what I got to see and what I get to see all over, not just internationally, but as I traveled from 2017 through 2023, in all the different places that I lived, I was running numbers, doing statistics, engaging myself in community, and talking with those in the community that might never go into a clinic or see a clinician or pick up a Times magazine or, or a Psychology Today magazine, or those that are not going to go and look for services because they feel as though they're not understood. They feel as though they don't really understand the true levels of trauma that we walk out in our community. And so when I come around, I am blessed to be able to fill that gap and to be able to be so real and so realistic and so open and so transparent about my journey and about my path. And it's not been easy. I mean, even as to recently being, somebody tried to take me out on September 29, 2023, now disabled, which is why I went to St. Kitts to heal, but instead spent 5 months in the prisons. Not just in the prisons, but I also sat with the young mothers, those babies that have babies that aren't even 18 years old yet. I also got to sit with my sisters, the survivors of the domestic violence unit. So this is the work that I do wherever I go. And all the while, just sitting in the background. Greetings. I don't know which platform you're watching from, but greetings. Whoever is watching, thank you so much for tuning in. And then Enterprise. The ladies just don't come in and get lectured. We build so that there is ways that they can sustain themselves. So everything that I do, every program turns into a project, and each project turns into profit. And so it's not just about, hey, come and read this book. When I say that it has come from the core of the community of those of us that absolutely have greatness in us, but have been severely traumatized. And when we walk into places that are, academia approach, it doesn't resonate with us. I'm not saying everybody, but with us. I know for myself, I felt as though you don't understand. And what you're asking me is really surface, very, very surface compared to the trauma that I've really lived out and that I've been able to overcome. And um, and how I've been able to overcome it without any of what the world says I was supposed to do, you know? And so it's just writing, and it comes from a place of the heart, and it also comes from a place that we know works. Like I said, I've been doing this for a while now, and the young ladies that have come through, I can ramble them off. One over six figures, one has her own clinic, it just goes on and on and on. So it's not that we're new. What's new is me sharing what I've been doing with the general public. What's new is me saying, hey, I live this. Let me maybe write it out, and so that more young people and more sisters can come in and understand that if we walk this way, we actually heal. And when we heal, we actually feel good. And when we feel good about ourselves, we can create things. And when we create those things, guess what? We can get paid for those things that we create. And so, looking up after 15 years of walking by faith, after I left my job to say, you know what, I'm not going to do it this way. I didn't really have a choice. My spirit was like, it's time for you to start your journey. And now looking up all these years later and looking at what it is that I have built, and now I'm coming out to share. I've been walking with girls for decades, and it works. It's a beautiful community, and there's no aging out, right? We're a real community. We might be small, and that's why I think, this is why I'm out now, saying, you know what, and I've trained up the next generation. And so I'm not even really teaching anymore, right? Right now, I'm teaching and training them how to take over the nonprofit. But when it comes to April, the next cohort, when we raise this $5,800 tonight, so that I can gift 10 young ladies to be able to come in and start their training and their transformation, I'm not teaching. The ladies are teaching, the butterflies are teaching, the younger ladies are teaching. And we have one that's coming up the ranks right now who's only in her 20s. And she's waiting for the next cohort so that she can do her internship, so that she can become a full-fledged facilitator. And so it is a beautiful system of us getting ourselves together, healing, restoring what it means to be sisters, restoring what it means to do business. I don't do business as the world does business at all. At all. We do things totally different. That's why the girls are studying now how to not re traumatize, but how to do this in a way that they see me, our relationship, we're just putting it on paper. We just put it on paper. And now I say, now you go get your butterflies. And now I have those butterflies, go get those butterflies. And what you find is we have an ecosystem now that when we get running, we don't even have to extend our hand to anybody. And the blessing is the only way that we can get bigger means more women are coming over, more women are healing, more women are working together effectively with no competition. There is no hierarchy as far as I'm like, it's not that it's an even playing field. I invite my sisters who are CEOs, who are nonprofit executives to come in. There's ways that we could work together and expand this ecosystem. This is not just for me. This is just my contribution. This isn't all about me. It's not about me at all. This is my contribution as one of the people on this planet that is actually here to bring restoration and order back to our community. And I know I'm not the only one, but I find like it's built, it's done, it's tested. And now we've been blessed to have an organization come and cover us for the finances. And for the first time, people think that I've been out here writing money. No, I've never written a grant for my organization. I didn't even become a 501c3 until 2018. Then I dissolved it in 2022 because we had filed for the under 50,000. And by this time, we have built so much that we knew that when we came out, we were going to get more than that. We have put more than that. We have actually contributed more than that within the last year into the organization ourselves. Okay, and the butterflies. So, we're ready. It's time. It's time, we're ready. So we're coming out. I am introducing myself and my program and letting y'all know that this is a beautiful organization. And I speak from the heart. I have poured from the walk. It is not textbook. It is literally from the walk and from the heart of a woman that doesn't proclaim to be perfect, but absolutely has not got off her mark since she was 18 years old and she heard that she was supposed to walk with her younger sisters. And out of all the darkness and all of the hell that life has brought me, I did it. And after being homeless, running for my life for the last time from an abusive husband in 1997, I went into Western Career College, homeless, living in a hotel, graduated with a 4.0 GPA, went to welfare and said, take me off. I got a job making $14 an hour in California. She was like, are you crazy? You came in here crying last year. You don't have nowhere to live. You don't know nobody in the state of California. I didn't. All I knew is that God told me it was time for me to leave Massachusetts and that my husband was the way out. But when I got to California, after 8 years of being single, away from him, the abuse started and I wasn't going to tolerate it. And so I ran from San Diego to Sacramento. And that's when my life really started to change because I'm not going to keep running. And so there's so much that I share and I could share, and I'm not going to try to tell you my whole life story right now, but knowing that my experiences in the situations that I've been able to come out of simply because of my spiritual ear, in my relationship, in taking me 15 years to finally come to a place of understanding and to come to such a place of love for my community and being so grounded and rooted that I don't have to come out here and try to make anybody think the way that I think or try to emulate me. But what it is, though, is the stillness and how did I get there? That's what I want to talk about. Is how did I get to the place that I could hear so that I could actually build and develop an organization with somebody who had no background in any of this, even down to the websites, everything comes from here. I've paid people throughout the years, but I've paid so much and I've done so much and now with AI, I'm just able to do everything myself. And so with that, the young ladies, so they get trained on CRM. They get trained on trauma-informed services. They get trained on healing, health, detoxing, how to put a business together, writing books, becoming published authors. There's so many different avenues because I understand that coming together and just meeting with them does not serve the full purpose of bringing them true transformation and restoration that they need to stand up and tap into what it is that they have divinely been put on this planet to do. Because we all have a divine purpose. It's just that we have been so bombarded by the noise of the world and all the different paths of the world and all the shiny things of the world that sometimes we forget that we actually are here to serve purpose, humanity, for one another. Like, where did all the hate, like, it's enough, it's time out for all that. It is time for healing. The world is so divided right now. I am so thankful to not be in the world, but not of the world. To see the division, to see sitting on the outside and watching all of the dysfunction and how it's being programmed into society. So much so to watch these experiments where you have people snatching children and people are just walking by. We are so deprogrammed. So what I teach is stillness. What I teach is whatever spirit you come to me with, what I teach you is accountability to it, not to I, not to me. Because what I've found over these 15 years of walking by faith, and actually throughout this time, having the ability to actually sit with my brothers and sisters and ask them, why do you believe what you believe? Not to debate them, not to tell them that they are wrong, but to sit, to listen, to glean. And then to sit back and watch. And when you watch your sisters and your brothers from different, I'll call them tribes, and you start to realize the commonality is the moral foundation. And so that's where I start with our moral foundation, our character, accountability for who you say that you are, not for who I need you to be, because I don't need you to be anybody except for the best human being that you can be. And the only way that we can do that is by disconnecting long enough to reconnect to our spiritual roots. Wherever your tree is planted, the moral fabric and foundation is the same. The branches might be different colors, different designs, different purposes. But the roots, what's supposed to grow it, the foundation, being a righteous woman, being a righteous man, being a good daughter, being a good son, taking care of the elders, taking care of the children, protecting the children. See, while we're so busy running around in man's system, trying to do everything within inside of man's system, when you step away and you connect spiritually to the spiritual system and you look and you see now the world can see actually what we've been seeing. And those that are out here that have vision in trying to get our community back in the right alignment. What you see clearly is the pseudo love. You see the pseudo love being played out like it's real, like it's all this power. You see, the puppetry, you see it. And that's why we have to take our time to set ourselves apart, be quiet, be still, and seek. Because again, the root comes from true love. True love is powerful. True love will fix, cure, your woes. It is powerful. Example, if you are in a healthy relationship where both people understand true love and the boundaries of what true love is, because true love doesn't purposely bring or cause harm. True love is not self-seeking. True love is not manipulative, has no hidden agendas. True love doesn't cheat. True love doesn't gaslight. True love doesn't love bomb. True love doesn't do all these things that this world system shows us and proclaims as love amongst people. When you tap into true love, you have more energy, you have more joy, you have more peace. So therefore, because you have the peace, you have the safety, you have the security, you can now go to the next step of creativity to now bring provision for your household. When everybody's antennas are clear and everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, operating in love and joy, there's less sickness, there's less disease. Do you understand? The greatest gift can be finding your life partner. But the world has made it look like that's impossible. Everybody cheats and this and that. And all of the pseudo, it's fake, it's not real. And so over here at Pi, our foundation is true love. And because our foundation is true love, and because I start with true love, when my sisters come to me, and we might have different branches spiritually. My intent is going this way, her intent is going that way. But you know what? We can still function in true love because the root of who we are. As a righteous woman, you're safe with me. Your children are safe with me. Your husband, you ain't got to worry, boo, because I know how to conduct myself and how to make sure that I'm not even around your husband. You heard me? Without you. It is certain ways that we conduct ourselves. Our friendship is safe. You'll never have to worry about me talking behind your back, degrading you, putting you down, gossiping behind you. These are the characteristics and the things that we work on over here at Pi. So I've been on way too long this time, but I'm just, coming on and sharing a little bit about who I am. For those that don't know, the work that I do, how I started the work, how long the work has been going, and why I'm doing this fundraiser. It all started with Facebook saying, hey, for your birthday, what nonprofit would you like to support? And I said, I have a nonprofit. I will support my own. So that's how it all started. And then I said, I'm 58. So at 2:00 today, which is March the 5th, 2:00 Eastern Standard Time became 58 hours before I turned 58. And so the clock is ticking. And so through that, we decided to go ahead and slash our prices, as well as do a fundraiser to try to raise $5,800. And I said, okay, we're doing a discount on some of our things. It's not, you can support us other ways, but we're also doing a discount for those that would love to send some young ladies through our program for only $580 for the next, however many hours is left by March 7th at midnight. And so you can go check everything out at PiPurifications.com. I'll put up the birthday stream information as well. And I will talk to y'all a little later. Thank you so much for listening. And I am available for workshops. I am available to speak. I do speak on healing, specifically the African American and BIPOC community. On trauma, I am certified to do the work. However, without the certification, I've been doing the work. I was just thankful that they finally gave it a name, something that I could go and say, oh yes, I'm trauma informed, right? But yeah, been doing the work for a very long time. Literally wrote the book, literally built a company behind my walk and the walk of me and several young women that I have been walking with since they were like 14 and 17, who are now in their 40s and doing very well for themselves. So we are evidence-based. If you go look and see, what does evidence-based mean? Yes, I have at least 20 years of proof that what I do works. And matter of fact, over 20 years, because I am the first graduate of my program. So definitely know it works, because nobody came to rescue me, but it's the steps that I took that I now share and that I've been sharing for 3 decades in the communities that I have lived in. And now the difference is we have turned it into an organization so that we can invite more to be trained, so more young women can come on back and understand that we are more than what they are being told that they are. And yeah, so that's me. I'm Marie K. Thanks. Talk to y'all later.